Teen Witch has been on my to-watch list for quite a while, and I'm pleased to say I finally got around to watching it. Was it worth the wait? Honestly, I don't know. I guess it was okay. This was released in 1989. It's directed by Dorian Walker. It's written by Robyn Menken and Vernon Zimmerman, with a cast including Robin Lively, Zelda Rubinstein, and various others. And this is about a young girl, and she's called Louise. And she isn't having the best time at school, but then she learns that she's a witch, and she might be able to use her powers to turn things around. And we have some important lessons there about right and wrong and believing in herself, and of course using whatever abilities you have in life for good rather than for evil or for self-gain or whatever the case may be. It is a good concept. That being said, the pacing is terrible. It took almost half of the film to establish the main narrative. And I also don't think Louise's reaction felt genuine at all. She just kind of found it out and went, oh, okay then, fair enough. Let's have some fun with this. It did not feel believable at all. I'm not looking for dramatics. I'm not looking for anything too intense, but her reaction was not believable. In fairness, I cannot help but compare this to the first episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I do have a Sabrina tattoo. I am devoted to the show. I'm obviously going to compare it even without trying. Even then, Sabrina's reaction to finding out she was a witch wasn't the most over the top, but it was still considerably more believable than this. So I found it difficult to buy into the narrative. It just wasn't very believable. The second half of the film maybe was a little bit better, was a little bit more interesting, but as I said, it took almost half of the film to establish the main narrative. They could have done so much more after the fact, and I do think Louise should have responded to things quite differently. It is a good 80s film. It does have a nice 80s feel to it. There's a nice touch of magic, of course. Everything else about Louise as a character, as a teenager at the time, that was all very, very believable. We also have some fun spells, some really nice atmospheric scenes. There's a decent scene with a carousel. I won't go into more detail than that, but I really liked that moment. I'd like to be there at that time, in that environment. It looked fabulous. Nice music, good use of sound effects. It could be better, but I guess as a one-time watch, Teen Witch was quite fun. The second half was definitely better than the first half. But even if you're just looking for a nice 80s teen film, then it could be a good one to go with. I doubt I'd ever watch it a second time. Maybe one day I'll give it another chance and see if I feel any better about it. But for now, I can say that it's not a bad film, but it definitely needed a bit of work to be considered a great film.